Okay. Let's see what people are doing. Yeah, getting games like that's always a lot of fun. The opponent's being silly back at you. I mean, I don't think either of us were being that silly. Just the way the game developed had it develop naturally silly. That's kind of one of the things that I like about this game so much. A lot of the counters to things are situational based on what both you and your opponent have. Like with the Fire Stormcaller example there. Normally you would just go Fire Stormcaller, but it's hard to do that when your comp is what it is. So a bunch of weird units come out on both sides. The Explodey Rhinos are a cool counter, except the Explodey Rhinos get countered really hard by a proactive unit. Like, you actively want hackers in your Fang army. Like, that could be the big mistake of the game, was going Explodey Rhino. They let me develop a tech that I wanted to develop anyway with tempo. Okay, well, Stormcrawler's a good unit. Senior attack specialists. I was gonna make a joke about Neo dodging rockets, but it's the wrong player. Though, there's an orbital bombardment. Maybe Neo will dodge some rockets. Even in cat form, you recognize Nick Cage. I don't see that at all, but I'm glad you are such a Nick Cage aficionado that you can. Same with hackers. I don't know about that. It seems like it's very hard to counter hackers when they come down with tempo. And there are a lot of things that let hackers come down with tempo. It's just an efficient unit, even when you try to counter it. Gives so much tank to your army. I don't know if Melting Point is ever the giant that I take proactively. It is almost always a reaction to something the opponent's doing. Okay, we got the Fortress versus Vulcan battle again. I'm seeing a lot of that. Usually want to be on the Fortress side of things, but the Vulcans do have XP, and there is a parasitic for the Vulcan player. Does that make the difference? No Ignite this time. Nope. Best Partner tries to do the same sort of thing as Ignite, I guess. Okay. This is, lots of giants. The game could very easily be over this turn. It does not take much. It's a defensive upgrade that doesn't help against their main counter. The Marksman? The Stormcaller? I don't know. I feel like Marksman and Stormcaller, well, Stormcaller specifically, is more of a counter than Melting Point. There's like the theoretical on-paper counter, but I feel like the real practical counter most of the time is you're making more Stormcallers. God, Parasitic Vulcan is so good. This is such a good tech. Brutal. Both players and Overlord, too. That was hardly any anti-air. Some shield wasps and some stangs. Let's go in. Ooh, what's Endozoa up to? This is Endozoa versus Fang. Oh, and we're getting in game just at the beginning. Supply spec on the bottom. Arclight Sledge. I'm always really weary of Arclight Sledge starts. Doesn't shoot up, doesn't have a chaff unit, and is only really all that good at killing chaff units. There's a couple things that you want in the early game. You want something that can kill sledges or arclights. You want a chaff unit. And you want to be able to clear the opponent's chaff units. Okay, going for the cell on the sledge to try to fix it. And it's when you have sledge and arclight, you really only have one of those things. You just have chaff clear, and then you still need to get both chaff and stuff to kill the opponents. Things like sledges. Are you observing and not playing? I usually play for like 4 hours a night and then observe for 2. See a more wide variety of types of games this way. Get to absorb what other top players are doing on ladder, rather than just seeing whatever strats that I'm favoring. The more you play, the less you like arclights and like sledges more. I don't know, arclights have their place in just being a cheap unit that's good at clearing chaff. Sledges are a lot more expensive and harder to buy on the first couple turns of the game. The more you've played the game, the less people spam light units. I don't know. There are definitely more games where no player, or where one player doesn't go for much chaff at the high rating than there are at the low ratings. But I think in most games you still see a good amount of chaff built for both players. I think the spacing generally gets a lot better at higher levels. You'll see stuff like this, where you have like fangs in front of crawlers, so they enter the battle at... I guess these are entering the battle at around the same time, but the idea being it's like 2 packs that are distinct and fall into different AoE circles. Sold sledges to get arclights. Yeah, arclight and some gold. Now he's got the ability to double collar this turn. Players cure chaff better vertically. Do they? I'd believe it. I haven't tried that. If they clear chaff better vertically, should they just always be vertical? Yeah, I figured horizontally they'd be targeting different things because the chaff is wider. Like one shot goes here, one goes here, one goes here, one goes here. Maybe that's not how it plays out though. The crawlers are crawling. And crawlers getting through for one of the players on both sides. It always feels bad when your opponent's chaff unit gets in. They deal so much damage. If I ever use the mass production option on 200 custom units to buy them at 100. Yeah, I like mass produce wasps a lot. It lets you buy wasps as, like, air fangs. Which can be pretty hard for the opponent to deal with. They, like, don't get Vulcans, they don't get Stormcallared. Makes Overlord pushes a lot better when you have something that absorbs the AoE. Probably the best chaff unit for dealing with Melting Point, too. If you're in those spots. And then, of course, you can sell the wasps for full value. So you take that tech, you buy 2 wasps, 3 wasps the turn that you get it, and then slowly over the course of the next couple turns, you start selling out of those wasps at a profit. So you can, like, ambush your opponent when they don't have good anti-air, and then they build anti-air, and then you sell the wasps at a profit. I'll occasionally take sledges for the same trick when I don't already have sledges. But it's usually a lower priority. If it's between, like, skipping and taking mass-produced sledges, I'll usually take the sledges. You're, like, using Link Sledge and you have mass production. That could be cool. Way to get your health back. They're still pretty tanky. Remove melting points. I mean, just think of the value differential, right? You're spending 100 on making the sledges that you can then sell for full value when you want to, and 250 for the tech. Your opponent's teching 200 into melting point and then buying 400 cost units. To deal with your thing that could very well be temporary. Pairing minus 50 unit cost with a mass-produced card to be an amusing savings. Pairing minus 50 unit cost. Are there any units that have a mass-produced and a minus 50? I thought it was one or the other. Oh, yeah, the 200 gold. Yeah. Yeah, that would work. You'd be able to sell those for full value. Lost for 50C. At that point, the deployment limit is a bigger restriction than your supply. You only get to buy so many units per turn. You got another Fortress versus Fortress, or Vulcan versus Fortress game. This time we've got the Fortress winning on levels. This Elite Spec on either side? No. Right, marksman. Okay, fortress went down. Are the Stormcrawlers enough to clean up? How much health does this still have? Full health? Not happening. Have more than 8 together? Yeah, I mean, if you're doing it, you probably just want packs of 4, even. That was actually much closer than I thought. Oh no. Oh no, there's parasitic! Not like this. Classic configuration. I think I still like wasps here for topside. They will get answered by stangs, but it might even just be both players do something proactive this turn, and then both players make wasps and counter wasps at the same time. Because as Fang, you don't know the answer here is a melting point. Wasps feel a lot worse into steel balls, if that's the answer. Parasitic on the collars. Parasitic on the Vulcan. Oh no. Oh no 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 no. Now, the missile still kills level 2 Stormcrawlers. I've been playing thinking you'd only kill level 1s. Whoops. It's good to know. Oh god, the melting immediately targets the fortress. Brutal. That is not where you want to be. You are taking a million. The flank's kind of rough, too. Get 'em, crawlers! Not quite. Bonk. 1,000 damage. You're manufacturing senior defense. Orbital javelin. The javelin kill the melting. It's leveling. 70k, so no. Both players taking it. Oh, it does kill the Vulcan, though. Vulcan is still level 1. I like this. I like this. Sometimes you just gotta orbital the Stormcrawlers. Wait, we're killing this Vulcan? Wait, he actually got leveled. Amazing. Oh my god. Actual next level. The Vulcan with the parasitic got sold to dodge the javelin, and this other Vulcan gets the javelin instead. Oh, it's level 2 though. I mean, the wasps distract the melting for a while. Long enough for the flank to come in. The Vulcan did go down. Yeah. Bottom did not make the Mustangs. Boop. That was crazy. So surely we need an answer for the wasps. We can't have this melting point get distracted by the wasps forever. It's a huge problem. A lot of the time, even though melting point's like theoretically a great unit in the fortress, you still do need the melting point to target the fortress. It often just comes down to whoever's winning on the rest of the ground. If the melting point player clears all the chaff first, gets the target on the fortress before the fortress targets the melting point, that's usually how it goes. Ooh, Fangs is the wasp fancy. I think I like that. We've got shield too. Makes him eat more fortress shots. Yeah, this does two things at once. Clears the wasps, provides more chaff for the melting point. Enhanced range. Both players full spending, I imagine. Yeah. Range and speed for top. EMP storms. We do have EMP storms. I don't know what those are doing. Shuts off the range on melting. But I feel like by the time you're worried about range on melting... No way! Just in time. Just before the crawlers come in. Gets the target. But Stormcallers? Stormcallers strong? Maybe? That Stormcaller's so good. Vulcan's down. No more crawlers. The little crawlers that could. The little crawlers that could. Get in there, get in there. No way. No way. There's a tower. Wait. No, it doesn't matter. Okay. Okay. Amazing. Senior defense specialist available for both players. Barrier with the giant units. Mobilize battleship for a big push. Oh boy. Oh no. Rip. That's probably what we call the end of the game. Let's spend my prediction tickets here. There are wasps. Maybe I'm wrong. Could answer it with some wasps. It's possible. It's possible. Giants is a lot. It matters a lot more for bottom than it does for top. Because the things killing the Giants for bottom are ramping damage like Melting Point, which makes the extra health kind of inconsequential. But with Stormcallers being the primary damage, the 30% is a big deal. That's Fangship, not Endo. Oh. Well, that's much better for the other side. Turns out an Overlord swing is a big deal. Oops, indeed. Oops, indeed. Is this lethal? No, okay, okay. We can still salvage this. Maybe. I don't know. There's Parasitic Vulcan doesn't lose. It's fine. It's fine. That was just because of the Overlord. Without the Overlord, this is still a game. Look at that. We've got levels on these things. Level 3 Parasitic Vulcan? How do you beat that? EMP and Storms? Nah. Storms are... the Storms are not getting shielded. Oh no. Please shield the Storms. Please shield the Storms. You need these. They're your most important unit. Oh no. Taking fire rockets for the Vulcan? It shuts off your parasitic. Probably don't want to do that. Wait, they're moving out of the fire? Maybe? Maybe? Maybe they die slow enough? Maybe? Okay, okay. Wait. Maybe they died slow enough? We're still not getting the melting on the fortress? Oh wait, this fortress went... Wait, what? Okay. I mean, these wasps are good. These wasps are really good. Oh no. Oh no. Never bet against the fortress side. Never bet against the fortress side. God. Imagine betting on Vulcan Melting Point. What was I thinking? Okay, well I was thinking that Overlord was ending the game, but... Other than that, what was I thinking? No, my insight. Ooh, 20k. Bull goes not enough. We had not enough anti-air. Yeah. It looked like maybe the Fangs were good enough, but I think the Wasps force Mustangs. And even then, you're in a Like, the Mustangs don't make it free. Format your board so melting point doesn't work. I mean, yeah, it's all about being able to clear the chaff fast enough. Let's see. Oh, it's far back arc light. Positioning worked out really well, though. Could have gone multi-melt. It's something you can do. I don't know how reliably it works. Like, I've played the Fortress versus Vulcan Melting Point a few times, and I feel like at this point I'm pretty happy being on the Fortress side of things. 2 ships passing in the night. Oh my god. Insane. Literal cheating. Literal cheating. Oh, early deployment spec. Also early subsidized marksman. Oh. Neither player has marksman unlocked. I don't think either of them have a comp that especially wants marksman. There's already Phoenixes here. There's Phoenixes on both sides already. Yeah. Probably just gonna see double deploy. Yeah, this is high elo. We only watch the high elo games. I'm not gonna scroll down and make fun of newer players. Seems kind of rude. Vulcan, yeah, I mean, Phoenix Vulcan's sort of a thing. Vulcan clears the chaff. Phoenix is one of the better single target units in the game. It's not like it's doing nothing. It's pretty good against the Fangs. It's so important to find comps to build for proactively that are also just good against what the opponent's currently doing. Okay, well that was one of the best missiles I've ever seen in my life. It's hard to do much better than that missile. Oh god. What are we trading? Phoenix got trained. Are we trading this Vulcan? Can't really afford to train the Vulcan. But we also can't afford to train anything else. Yeah, I don't know. I've seen marksman spam work at the high rank tables. This missile is so brutal. This is why you gotta give some space to your units. Ugh. It's just like 50 gold to deny all of the Vulcan XP, deny the Phoenix XP, scale the Phoenixes on the Vulcan. Vulcan doesn't kill field maintenance armor plating sledges. I had a game earlier where we bought level 2 arc lights with armor in response to our opponent's frontline Vulcans, and they didn't die. It was great. Positioning's always sad. Yeah, it's just... I get why you want to have them close. You do want these circles to be as close as possible. You want your Fangs and arc lights to start shooting at the same time, but like, you could just have it over a little bit. It also makes you better into the Stormcaller if they're not vertical like this. You just make a third Vulcan? Oh my god. Oh my god. Yeah. Yeah, jamming giant units in the deployment specialist game is a bit weird. There's so much to spend your money on right now, between intensive training, giving XP to things, deployment specialist, giving you extra deploy slots. Feels like Top is probably taking advantage of it more, though I'm not paying a ton of attention to what they're doing. They've got a lot of stuff in play. Yeah, I mean, you can place close while not also playing into everything. Like, this first... I guess this first volley is probably always gonna be good, but... Like, the first volley damaged the arc lights, too. Okay. The Vulcans... Vulcans getting in. The Vulcans getting in. Okay. That wasn't a bad loss. That was fine. Vulcan tanking for the Phoenix, so I guess it's winning the air, kinda. That's the idea. You want to win on the ground faster, and then your air will eventually just overwhelm theirs, as long as you win the ground by enough. We had a game earlier where our opponent was making a bunch of Phoenixes, and we just kept making things that shoot on the ground with our one Phoenix, and our one Phoenix was our only thing that shot up, and was plenty to clear out like 8 packs of Phoenixes at the end of the fight. My tech and not barrier for blue. I missed the specialists. Did he do anything with the tech spec this turn? No. I don't know, there's just so many things to spend money on here. I get the argument tech spec gives you a little bit more money over time, but it does take a while for that to kick in. We'll see what the plan is for it. I don't know what it is yet. Okay. Tower, tower. Big tower hit, big tower hit. Oh, was the actual barrier item offered that turn? Yeah. Phoenix still getting there. Okay. Now, is the proactive Vulcan Phoenix comp gonna be able to turn it around? There is much better Stormcaller tech this time. We're not seeing launcher overload into Vulcans. That skips. There's shield airdrops? Shield airdrops. What about flanking? With what? I don't think either player has a super cost-efficient flank. We've got Arclight and a Phoenix protecting this side, which makes all the wide stuff kind of bad. Phoenix makes Rhino flanks really bad. I don't think anything gets in. Wasp flank. Maybe. It distracts the Phoenixes for a long time, and maybe that's what you need on the side. Though you'd maybe rather just have the wasps in your army if you're gonna tech wasps. There's not enough phoenixes! Losing in the air! The Vulcan's living. Big damage, big damage! Okay, the proactive comp's coming together. What is the answer? I feel like wasps are pretty good for both players. Just something to help Chaff to keep the phoenixes alive. Chaff that doesn't get wrecked by the Vulcan. The concern would just be maybe you lose your tower too quick. If you're just all on the air. Range elite marksman. So now we're outranging the phoenixes. What do you mean by proactive comp? So there's like combinations of units that you want to have because it's hard to counter when the opponent has these combinations of units. So like Vulcan Phoenix. Vulcan's really good at clearing out the ground chaff, which is something that Phoenix tends to struggle with. So when you have Vulcans, it makes your Phoenixes better. Where down here we're playing, up here we're playing a little more reactively, where we have Stormcallers to deal with the Vulcan to try to make the Vulcan bad. But we're just doing like good stuff. We're just playing to try to kill, like to win each individual round. Where here, this is more building towards something that is hard to beat. This is just an assembly of units that is good against what the opponent's doing. And at some point, the proactive comp just assembles enough that... If the proactive comp is good, at least. It assembles enough that... it is going to overtake just good stuff. Like, the Vulcan wasn't very good when it was made, but now the Vulcan is making things very difficult to have counters for the Phoenixes. He lost a lot of life trying to get this together, but now that it's together, we see it paying off. Stormcallers are to counter the Vulcans because they kill the Vulcan. Yeah, as long as you can get them to target it. Oh god, and Parasitic's popping up. Yeah, I like the Wasps, but it just wasn't enough. Oh, Mustangs got made preemptively. That's a really good call. Expecting the Wasps to just make the Stangs immediately. And really, there's not... I mean, there's Arclights to deal with Mustangs, but... not great counters to the Mustangs. Especially since these might even take out the Wasps before the Arclights ever get to target it. Top stopped making Phoenixes. The air war is very lopsided. Oh, they stopped making Phoenixes, but they made some Wasps instead. Just because you have more air units doesn't necessarily mean... like, winning on the air only means so much. Usually the ground fight's more important. Parasitic. Best counter to Vulcan, Phoenix plus Chaff. Wasps are nice because they give you a way to delay your opponent's Phoenix shots. Stormcallers are probably the best answer to the Vulcan. Like, I'd probably be doing what top is doing right now. Maybe slightly different numbers, but... I don't have any, like, big disagreements with what they're doing. You need a lot of fortresses for Fortress AA to work. I think if you're gonna go Fortress, you need to be in it earlier. Yeah, we saw there were a bunch of Phoenixes that lived, but the Phoenixes, after the ground fight was lost, there were some crawlers left over, and the Phoenixes waste all of their bonus time just shooting crawlers. Oh. HP for one side, attack for the other. Yeah, they do cancel out. That's funny. These Phoenixes are also outranging. Yeah. That is true. Fortress tends to be a lot better against Wasps than Phoenixes, unless you know you're willing to make a lot of Fortresses. Fire rockets is a must. I don't know. I don't know how to evaluate fire rockets here. It might be good. It's also killing a lot of your own chaff. And it makes your parasitic worse. Oh, yeah. It does make this parasitic look pretty silly, though. But yeah, you need a way to deal with these Mustangs. The Wasps are all dying! The Vulcans getting in! The Vulcans aren't even dying. Yikes. Stangs, too good. I go Lord with Wasp spawn versus Phoenix, but not this many Phoenixes. Yeah, it's pretty hard to tank this many Phoenixes. The proactive Vulcan wins again. As bad as this looks early, it's come together more often than not as we've watched it. I think we've seen it lose twice and win 3 times. Nothing chunky to stall for the Stormcallers. Sure. Dark Lights will slowly stop the Mustangs. Way too late. Spec tier list. Okay, hold up. Let's command update sub goal. At sub goal, we will do a specialist tier list. Pod. Reactive Vulcan, the new meme build? I mean, I don't know if it's a meme build. It's just another proactive option to go for. Looks fairly strong. Just there are combinations of units that are more than the sum of their parts, and Vulcan Phoenix is one of those. Come on. Come on. Kill the Phoenix. Oh, the Vulcan looked up. It looked up. Seems like something could potentially stomp lower elo matches. Yeah, I'm sure building towards any proactive comp is going to be very good at low elo. But, like, it's working at high elo games. Like, We're watching 20k players play, but it's still winning more than it's losing. Does anti-rockets Mustang work? Yeah, I should know what ratios are. I don't know what they are. Once they get launcher overload, I think you're just losing. But I don't know without launcher overload if it's 1-to-1 or if you can get away with fewer Mustangs. Reactive comps telegraph themselves. Yeah, so when there's counters to build towards, it becomes just, do you know what the counter is? Or can you figure out the counter in time? That's usually what happens. I feel like with most of the good proactive comps, they eventually get figured out over time. Like, we're not really seeing early Overlord pushes as much as we were a couple days ago. How does one deal with Hacker Fest? Stormcallers. Lots and lots of Stormcallers. And some prayers. It does feel like there are situations to pivot into hacker spam where the hackers look completely unbeatable. And I'm not sure what the answer is, but if you're like already semi-prepped for hacker, you've already got some Stormcallers in play, you've already got some Stormcallers in play, you can maneuver something that works. And near the proactive comp and then pivot. I mean, yeah, that's a thing you can do for sure. Being flexible is important. Definitely a game that's going to be really interesting to see top players write articles about as people get better. Curious what the decision making is going to look like at a high level in a couple months. I'm sure it's very different than it currently looks today. How big is Mechabellum? You can check the Steam charts. I think it gets like 3k peak players daily. I'm not sure what the average is. TFR? It's TFR. It's beating Gwent. Well, it's beating Gwent specifically in Steam. What? It is significantly smaller than TFT. Bonk. Well, Vulcan Phoenix didn't quite come together that game. Every game we watch, there's someone going for Vulcan Phoenix. Crazy. Right at the beginning of the game. Like Phoenix is funky marksman. If by funky you mean flying, Phoenix is a better marksman. There's advantages to both. Yeah, the big advantage being a lot cheaper. 4 start options are not the same. Yeah, they're always different. Both players can never have the same specialist. What we got here? Ooh. Steel Ball Crawler. Marksman Arclight Collar. That seems hard to deal with. Cool Overlord push start if you want to do that. Okay, going for the Marksman. Ooh, we are going for the heavy armor. Okay, okay. Like this. We got Chaff. We got pretty good single target. We're tanky. Got a game against Marksman specialists who sold their Marksman for an Overlord turn 1? Turn 1? You only have 300, right? You spend 100 for the sell, you get 200. Yeah, maybe turn 2. Yeah, I've seen people sell the Marksman turn 1. I haven't seen it much recently. But I know Jeremiah used to do it a lot. Maybe he still does, but... Sell on 200 to Overlord turn 1? Like, you have to spend 100 on the sell, so the way you Overlord turn 1 is alone. Am I higher than Jeremiah? I don't think so. I don't know. He's 18.5. Am I... Yeah, I don't even know where my score is right now. I'm like right below 19. The delay on this Marksman is kind of interesting. It, like, gets caught up on the tower for a bit before it enters the battle. Haven't seen this positioning on Marksman ever. Tips of the circles kind of overlap. See aggressively positioning Marksman and selling it if it's a bad position. Yeah. Not having information when placing your Marksman does feel kind of bad. It's a unit that gets much better when you know how your opponent's positioned. Oh my god, it's so slow. Oh my god, it's so slow. I guess to be fair, it's just shooting chaff for the first, like, 5 seconds of the engagement anyway. Marksman goes down. These steel balls sure are pushing. It's my top tier card pick. Probably supply spec as far as specialist goes. But what units are with it matter a lot too. There are a lot of starts that feel very risky, where you can just be put in a hole that you can't get out of. Or at least put in holes that I cannot figure out how to get out of. Yeah, I really don't like Mustang starts. Said that a few times. The worst is like Mustang Crawler. You just get destroyed by Arclight. I like Elite Spec a lot, mostly because it plays so different. It feels like it might be like pretty exploitable at a high level, but not exploitable enough that it feels bad. I have a lot of fun with Elite Specialist games. This is a cheeky flank. 100 sellability, 200 by selling marksman. Yep. And then you have the sellability unlocked for later. It's not like that money is just gone forever. Marksman spam's the best version of it. It's a thing you can do with it. I don't know whether it's the best version of it, but there's a lot of stuff that looks really good with Elite. Some units scale really well with levels. It's got some scary flanking potential. Best version of... Oh, maybe. Yeah, there's a lot of cool things that Elite Specialist lets you do that you just aren't really able to do on other heroes. Level 2 giants are nice. First, not being able to do level 1 giants. Yeah, it's real hard to tech giant sometimes. That's fine. There's plenty of games where you don't need giants. You do feel the disparity, though, when you're Elite Specialist versus a Giant Specialist. That can sometimes be a bit rough to try to overcome. So I got this Arclight coming in a turn late. That delayed things for a little bit? I don't know, the flank was dead by the time the main engagement happened. I don't know how much that flank's doing. We're still winning. Starting with a level 2 giant instead of buying 2 giants seem worth it somehow? It can be, but you gotta be very sure that that giant's going to be good. You're committing a lot into it. Cost 800 to get a single giant. A fortress. Fortress is a good one. Yeah, I'd like cost control too. Cost control is another one where just having extra money to do some things like tech up is enables some plays that wouldn't otherwise be enabled. The more impactful the specialist, the more I like it. Cost control feels very impactful. Elite is very impactful. Like, drastically changes what strategies you can do. Giant's got some really cool stuff that it can do too, yeah. Like Giant a lot. Haven't been playing it much the last couple days, because I played it a ton a couple days ago, like last week, but... Lots of really cool early game strategies that are enabled by having Giant. I guess the Arclight arrives a little late this way, but... Oh, we can't shoot up. That's funny. Oh boy. What? Wait, let's look up. Let's look up. Oh no, I'm taking damage! This one sucks. That's the worst camera view. Having the different pivots, having the one huge impactful one Vulcan only costing 400 is nice. Yeah, it also gives you a nice edge. In those interactions where your opponent wants to make a giant unit in response to your giant unit, you really feel the extra gold advantage. Like a quick fortress and they try to answer it with Melting Point Vulcan. You save so much money. It's like a whole tech worth of money. Level 3, level 3. Level 5! Is this the game? Is this the game? We're gonna see elite Arclights? They're gonna hit so hard. It's just barely in the shield. Oh. Did that actually block? Oh, I thought the Vog was going in front of the shield a little bit. I guess not. Just absolutely destroyed. Oh my god. Oh my god. This is turning into a stomping. What is happening? These arc lights are popping off. Incendiary for both players. Incendiary for both players. This is a good fog over here, too. Okay, we've got 1,300 monies. This only costs... Yes! Yes, it's happening. Let's go. Oh, they're subsidized, too. They're 50 gold arc lights. Charge shot phoenixes. I mean, I guess that's a threat. What they got? This one's got 20k HP. The phoenix is hit for 9k. That arc lights completely destroy air. Yeah, it costs 900 to get them to destroy air, though. It's a bit pricey. What's Fed stand for? Like, they have a lot of XP. They've been eating good. And by eating good, I mean eating all of the opponent's units. This is just a massacre. This is just a straight up massacre. I don't know what happened. I feel like this flank did not do very much, but... Oh my god. Okay, there's a marksman. Yep. Shield airdrop's fine. Nano repair on the Fed Arclight. Does it not have an item yet? Oh my god. It has an item already. Oh, there's 2 Fed Arclights though. Oh yeah. Fully teched out. Arclights might be the flavor of the week. I think they were the flavor of 2 weeks ago. I think a big part of the reason why it's doing so well here is the subsidized Arclight. That came down pretty early. Nano Fortress could have done something here. Yeah, it could have died in 2 shots from an Arclight. Okay, 5 shots from an Arclight. I don't know, he's just so far behind at this point. I don't know. These fights have been looking brutal. Everything just gets shredded by the arcs. Flank's buying just enough time to snipe the towers. That was the most one-sided Arclight carry game I've ever seen. I've never seen them look this good. That was pretty sick. And you counter fed upgraded arcs. Well, part of it is you don't let them get fed. Usually Stormcallers are pretty good, but... wasn't enough here. Stormcallers are the answer to everything? Well, I mean, they weren't the answer here. Hacker's probably okay here? Range hacker? It's not a whole lot of chaff for them if you can clear. You just gotta worry about the shields. I guess you also need enough chaff. Just do have a lot of range. Yeah, I don't mind storms as much as I've seen some people in chat get mad by storms. It's a cool unit. I sort of get how the times when it looks good, it looks very, very good, and most games involve Stormcallers in some way, but... don't like how many situations they get in. I get that, I get that. You think we just call her? I don't know how effective turning off your brain and just spamming callers is. I feel like you usually need a good reason to build more than like your first couple of callers. But there are a lot of excuses to do that. Okay, got Vulcans. We should do a pretty good job of clearing. We have field maintenance overlords. What is this? What does this do? Why? Am I unaware? Is this a real upgrade? It does not look like a real upgrade. It looks a whole lot like minus 300 supply. Oh no. Oh no, 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 no. Field maintenance is good versus Mustangs. Isn't armor just better though? Is it cheaper than armor? Yeah, I guess I could see that. Cheap and gets better with level up. Yeah, just like armor. Armor also gets better with level up. Okay, we've built Mustangs into field maintenance overlords. Surely now we see field maintenance pop off. I think these Mustangs might be more to just have another chaff clear that incidentally kills overlords. Actually, we have Vulcans. Why did we make Mustangs? It's a nano repair for 300 supply. Against all units seems pretty okay. Well, like, you gotta consider what the alternatives are. The alternative is armor, which kind of does the same sort of thing. Nano repair is also a lot better on units that tend to be taking damage early in the fight. Like, it's nice on Vulcan, it's nice on Fortress, things that you don't mind taking aggro early. But the thing that's nice about Overlord is it just sits in the back and dies near the end of the fight. Gets to apply damage the whole time. Yeah, I didn't see maintenance do anything either. Is there a cost difference? Armor's 200, maintenance is 100. Okay. I guess I can see that. I don't know how maintenance makes it match up against just Mustangs. I could see that. Out of 1 of 7, and now you're not seeing anything. Rush pit keeps happening. I'd recommend Twitch Adblock. I think it's called that. Twitch Adblocker Plus. Twitch TM Adblocker Plus. You have an overleveled Overlord against units that don't do much damage. It's useful. Yeah. Marksman. Yeah, you don't want either against Marksman, but just seems like in the situations where you want one, armor is better, but maybe the cost difference makes it so that doesn't matter. I don't have either tech. In the situations where I would want armor, I just go Launcher Overload. And I'm pretty happy with it. Usually much higher impact. More expensive too, but much higher impact. Overlord wants like 8 of its X. Probably. I'm pretty happy with how I've got my Overlords configured. I think I only really use like 3 of them. It's just Photon, Launcher Overload, and I have Mothership Teched, but I rarely use it. Artillery. Artillery comes up from time to time. Really, it's just Photon and Launcher Overload. Those are the 2 that I use. The others are pretty situational. Mothership's great for like a final push if the opponent's mostly got single target stuff for anti-air. They're overloaded on Phoenixes or Marksmen. And then sometimes ground cannons can snipe a giant unit if it's out of position. Okay. Stormcrawler's getting taken out by the crawlers. You love to see it. You love to see it. Okay, maybe not. Maybe there's... maybe that didn't quite work. Not quite enough crawlers getting through. Hmm. Yeah. Early intensive training. I don't think I've ever watched a game where the players have skipped a turn to intensive training. They're thinking about it, but they always take it. What are you even thinking about? I guess these are all kind of cool. Missile strikes, good right now, but doesn't scale in this. Whoa, we're taking missile strike. I have been proven wrong. Penguin still thinking? Still thinking? This would be the first time that I have seen one player take intensive and the other not. If this is an intensive training game. Skip? Okay, I've never seen that. Okay, we are in uncharted territory. Find training to be expensive. It can make your turns a little awkward, but leveling is just so efficient. It can be hard to fit in, but even just putting it on level 1 units, ignoring any potential to scale stuff out of control, doubling the value of a level 1 unit is often better than getting another copy of it. A lot of times you can't use it, slam it even though you can't level. Yeah, I'll often not take a ton of advantage of it the turn I buy it, or I'll just like level my Stormcaller or level my Arclight or level my Marksman, just something like that. Not super impactful right now, but does something as the game goes on, and then later on I still have access to this intensive training that can either scale out of control or improve my economy. Paid 100 for the privilege? Sure. It's a pretty good deal. Plus, how else are you getting giant units to level 9 if you don't take intensive training every time it's offered? Okay. Oh god, we're combat spelling. It is combat spell time. Subsidized Stormcaller available for Penguin. Wait. What is this? Penguin's on bottom. Wait, both players have Stormcallers too. Wow. Taking Orbital Bombardment on turn 3 instead of Subsidized Stormcaller. That's interesting. 3 good cards. Yeah, Heavy Armor is interesting too, depending on what you're planning on doing. Vulcan getting slammed. Orbital's really good when you already have storms. I don't know, just not a huge fan of taking Orbital when both players are basically at full life. You're paying 150 to try to win the next fight, and then maybe win the fight 4 turns from now on turn 7. Both players taking it. Oh my god. This Vulcan flank. Vulcan flank! Okay. Okay, I see. I see what kind of game this is. Yeah, like, it's not a bad ability, I just tend to prefer stuff that's giving an econ lead versus just trying to help to win fights a bit early on. Especially when I'm not under any pressure. Yeah, he's saying on turn 7 it becomes a big deal. Or I guess turn 8. Meh. The combat spell friends. Advanced firepower. Oh, this Vulcan is directly touching the front too. Huh. What is the answer to this Vulcan gonna be? It's only halfway leveled. I don't know. Cause like, if you steel ball here, the Mustangs die, so you don't kill the Wasps. Oh, are we just fortressing it? Okay, I guess that works. I guess that works. Pricey way to do it, but you probably want to put this right in front of the Vulcan though, just so that he can't put some chaff here to distract the fortress. And the bubble. The bubble seems excessive, but if he gets to keep it, it's probably fine. Looks like he keeps it. That makes committing to the flank a lot harder. Or committing further to the flank a lot harder. That bubble sticking around. So rewarded a little bit for having the fortress be farther forward, gets into the fight a bit faster. Oh, do you think Intelligent Marksman? Yeah. Senior attack specialist. We're on 1,000 gold and 1,100 gold. Yeah. How much do we like combat spells? We're really taking... We're not taking Smoke Bomb over Senior Attack, right? Oh, yeah, potentially... Oh, we're just selling the Vulcan. Goodbye, Vulcan. Blue really likes thinking through the card choices. Yeah, I like that. Just acknowledging this flank's not great. We've got a fortress out of position. That's good for us. This thing, like, never enters the fight. That's cheeky. That's cheeky. Oh no! They moved too far. They moved too far. Okay, that feels kind of bad. I appreciate the attempt. Didn't quite work. Oh, the fortress is arriving. Slowly, but it's arriving. Surely it'll fire a shot. Let's go, fortress. Get in there. Get in there. I believe in you. This might be the first time that I've seen a unit literally do nothing. I don't think it tanked any damage. I don't think it fired a shot. I guess it dealt 400 damage. That's true. That's true. That's true. He's a war photographer. Just a little bit behind the front line. Okay, those wasps gotta get out of there. Back to the main army they go. Amazing. Saw someone purchase a bunch of overlords, movement them back and forth in the back lines, just to add punch to an already winning battle. I mean, why have your overlords contribute when you could instead win without them? I get it. It feels really bad selling a level 2 fortress, or a fortress with the potential to be level 2. Feels especially bad when you're winning, too. You don't need to sell it. It's doing so much damage. And maybe we get to the point where it starts doing something. Like this fight. This fight, it's gonna punch that melting point to death, I believe. Oh, yeah. Walk into the front line. I'm gonna punch this melting point. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. This tower is mine. Okay, this tower is the rest of my army. This tower is ours. Did something. Contributed. distributed. Third Fortress is getting a tech called Fire Punch. Bonus melee attacks. The counter to crawlers. Move aside, Vulcan. Okay. Elite recruitment, mass recruitment, more melting points. Just what we need. Waiting for an anti-air upgrade on Stormcallers. I mean, all they gotta do is look up. If you fire enough missiles at the sky, surely some of them will hit. It's crazy that we don't have mid-air detonations on Stormcaller missiles. Actually, flavor-wise, shouldn't EMP be an anti-air upgrade? Doesn't EMP explode above the ground? Shouldn't that take out some aircraft with it? No! It's okay, this fortress is protected. The Pocket Fortress. It's the safest fortress of them all. Melting point. Okay. Oh yeah, the barrier. The barrier's contributing. Let's go. Fortress with no unit spawn. Yeah, we could have... Imagine we had the Fang upgrade, then we could have both Fangs and Fortress slowly waddle their way into battle, not doing anything. What a game. What a game. Okay, I'm gonna take a quick break. I'll be back in like 2 minutes. Let me, I have to zoom out. It's probably just getting started, right? Okay, we got a Sledge Marksman Crawler start against Mustang Crawler Marksman. Sledge is pretty good against both the Mustangs and the Crawlers. And it does look like the Crawlers are getting ahead of the Sledges before the Marksmen get the target on them. Yeah. Stangs did a pretty good job of clearing the chaff, though. Not as one-sided as it could have been. Sledges are going down. Lived on a pixel. Lived on a pixel. Close fight. Nice if you could see what round the game is on before spectating. Yeah. Would definitely prefer just hopping into games as they're starting. We've not actually lost reconnection. Just gotta wait. This happens a lot joining games. So we got cost control versus giant spec. This is... I don't know which side is which. Okay, blue is bottom. So the more pure marksman sledge. It's got cost control. Spectator part needs some work. Yeah. I don't know about needs some work, but there's some pretty easy improvements, or at least improvements that I think would be pretty easy. That would make watching a lot easier. Some kind of production, so that some production tab that you could see what each of the players are doing on each turn would be really nice for improving the watchability of the shop phase. It can be really hard to follow what the players are doing. You're paying attention to one side of the board, and then the other side is doing stuff, and you sort of gotta remember what they had the previous turn to know what's new. Or just like having a tab to look at to see they spent X gold buying a sledge, X gold buying this upgrade would be really nice. Need means lots of people enjoy spectating. Good idea to make set improvements. Yeah. I would hope that they're in the pipeline. That's a lot of marksmen. Okay. Like, do we need to see the card screen the whole time both players are selecting? Probably not. I guess you can hide it, not the biggest deal, but would be nice to be able to see what the pick was. That would also go in the production tab. Yeah, that would be... That's more of a thing for playing the game, but I guess it would be nice for spectating too, being able to import into practice mode and test out variations. Those are probably my two biggest feature requests as far as non-gameplay things go. Being able to import game states into practice, or import games and set what rounds the board you want to play around with. And then a production tab to be able to see what the players are doing. Like, if you don't leave this up, it can be hard to tell when a player skips versus takes something. Really easy to miss things like extended range Stormcaller if you don't leave this view up. Man. Okay, well, I don't want to miss the whole turn. Got a laser sight Vulcan. Oh, this is the marksman pretty well. We're talking about marksman Phoenix, or Vulcan Phoenix, but Vulcan marksman's also a very solid set of units. Vulcan clears the chaff, marksman kills the big stuff. Change of subject, you're up to 4K now. Finally the MMR gain starting to pick up. Yeah, the first like 4 or 5K was real rough. I don't really know what the combat power system's trying to do, but picks up partway through. It seems like it would be really discouraging for new players, gating like 50 MMR a game, and you see the top players are at 18,000. If you don't know that it picks up partway through. That feels like it would be a quit point to where you don't want the MMR system to work that way, but I don't know. Go, go, Vulcan! These marksmen are so good. Yeah. The sledges are a bit redundant for the bottom player. The sledges and the Vulcan are both trying to do the same thing, where top was able to amass a bunch of marksmen to complement the Vulcan better. Once you've got the Vulcan down, not as important to have the sledges to clear chaff. Ooh. Gonna see more Vulcans. Taking items like this is always an indicator that there's gonna be more giants coming down. Oh yeah, Vulcan number 2. Range up on the marksman. Red's already finished their turn. Blue still deciding which card they want to take. Range on the sledges is normally pretty good, but I don't know, after teching Vulcan, that's something you still want. Doesn't look like it. Took heavy armor. So we got a tanky Vulcan. When do you want heavy armor instead of shield? Shield's better against things that do percentage damage, but when is heavy armor better? I guess there's like EMPs that deal extra damage to shields. Regen effects. Yeah, if you've got like nano armor teched, or nano repair teched. But you would need a tech for that, right? There's no way to give it regen other than an item at this point. Vulcan go burr. Now marksman. Some level marksmen just aren't quite cutting it. Marksman even getting targeted by the Stormcaller. Looks like with the shield, it's good enough. Slow way to kill a Vulcan, but does eventually go down. No double item. Armor makes more sense on sledges. I don't know. Keeps it alive through the Vulcan more? I don't know how much it helps against the marksman, as the marksmen get teched and leveled. Quick orbital bombardment for red. Very quick orbital bombardment for red, considering there's a parasitic available. I guess there's already full items on the Vulcans, and you probably don't want to make a third. Both players taking the bombardment. Trying to snipe the marksman, trying to snipe the Stormcallers. Primary damage on the Vulcans. Both sides shielding, but the shield a little less efficient over here. I just can't get all of the Stormcallers into. Our top is able to at least shield the ones most likely to get bombarded. I think the shield does multiple things too, because I think this marksman died before the Vulcan. I think it got Stormcaller. Maybe now it won't. Man, placing a missile to kill the crawlers and then having the first bombardment missile go where the crawlers went feels kind of bad. I like these wasps. Wasps are very good. Distract these marksmen forever. Stormcallers get through. Vulcan's still alive. Shield barely still up. Stormcaller looking to be the better Vulcan complement. Got just enough things to shoot up. Don't have the giant killing tech on our Stormcallers here. The Vulcan matchup is one where I think the high explosive is really nice to have on callers. You can't really take launcher overload, but high explosive shreds the giants. Okay, Missile Interceptor Mustangs. Trying to deal with the Callers. I guess there's more counters available for the Stormcallers than there are available for the Marksmen. You just sort of gotta chaff through the Marksmen with the Wasps. But the Mustangs do double duty here. Answer the Stormcaller missiles and help take out the Wasps. They do run ahead of the Vulcan. So they might not live long enough? We'll see how the targeting lines up here. They should live long enough to kill the Wasps. Down go the missiles. Wasps get taken out. This squad gets targeted by the Vulcan. They stay in the shield. Looks like this squad's gonna live. Well, half the squad lives, but I mean, half the squad's enough to shut down a good amount of the Stormcaller damage. Don't need to pop every missile. And now what is the response going to be to the Mustangs? Mustang's looking much better for top side than on bottom. I don't want to say the Stormcaller is a reliability, because they're still important to be your main damage to take out the Vulcan. But the Mustangs for top definitely turning the tides a bit. Where it seems like these are more preempting a Wasp answer that never came. Barrier doesn't get insta-popped, right? Is Fog just on the Marksmen and Mustangs? Okay, fire bombs. It's a way to deal with the Stangs that don't get shielded. Interested in seeing how well this works. Patch of fire here. Okay, patch of fire almost just kills the own Mustangs, but did that do something? There might have been stuff there. Stangs are going to tower. Oh boy. Oh boy! There's no way. Yeah. But... looks like it turned the tides. Game is still going. Orbital Javelin available? Doesn't... Vulcan is still level 1. That's scary. Yeah. Both players gotta take the Javelin. Looks a lot better for red than it does for blue, though. Yeah, that's a brutal Javelin, where this one's just killing a pack of Stangs and a Marksman. imagine the side with collars is winning and the side without them is not. I mean, I don't know if I would say is winning. They won that fight. They lost the previous one. Like we've got a game. Wasps. So is this we take the elite marksman this turn? Not sure what units got added. Oh, missiles took out that Mustang too. Oh, there's no Mustangs. They all died to combat spells. Wait, the Wasps are just gonna run this over. Oh no. All the spells needed was to kill the Stangs. And the Wasps. The Wasps let him... Is this lethal? No! But he survived the Javelin turn. The Javelin looked like it was gonna be so backbreaking. And now we've made it to the second orbital bombardment turn. Skill specialist coming in, forcing bubbles. Forcing bubbles. We are bubbling, right? Right? Surely we're bubbling. No bubbles? No, we're bubbling. Yeah, we're bubbling. Okay. Variety? I think this was a really cool game to watch. We got the anti-missile Stangs as the answer to Collars. Marksman is the alternative for the other side to have damage to kill giants. Let us take Elite Marksman. This has been a really cool game. Not enough Stangs in this world? There might be now that they're not getting spelled. Like, you don't want to have too many Stangs. But the Stangs are doing double duty of answering both the Wasps and the Stormcallers, which are two of the biggest threats on the other board. You don't need to anti-missile all the Callers. It's just, you got some damage absorption to keep your Vulcan alive a bit longer. Oh, that missile, that bombardment, that bombardment. That bombardment came at the perfect time. But it's not enough. It's not enough. There's another turn. It's still going. Every game you play is Stormcallers? Maybe you should learn from the red player over here. He's got no need for Stormcallers. Oh my god. This is so dumb. The thing that's bothering me about this game has nothing to do with the Callers. It's just combat spells. These combat spells are so silly. I just want to see these comps show down. No, we gotta have lightning storms and smoke bombs and impactful missile strikes every turn. Level 3 Vulcan? We're gonna level 3 Vulcan? Kinda need a shield is the problem. Is it the same one we missed last time? Surely it gets shielded, right? Right? Oh no. Oh no. This missile strike has gotten so much value. Wait, it's a missile. Why does it not get intercepted? That's messed up. You should not be able to missile strike, missile intercept their Mustangs. They do intercept it? They didn't last time. Oh, with their bodies, yeah, okay. Okay. Yeah, it just doesn't get missile intercepted. I'm not even gonna try to commentate. I don't know what's happening. There's a lightning storm on both sides. Visibility is 0. Nobody can see. Everything that we can see is getting Vulcaned. Fire everywhere. The lightning storm killed enough of the Mustangs that the Wasps live. But this Vulcan's still... How is this Vulcan so healthy? No, the tower? Okay. Okay. The Vulcan's living. The marksmen are cleaning it up. Is this lethal? Oh my god, there's another turn. No, sentry missiles do. They still do. We're back to Javelin. Oh my god. Oh my god. I mean, surely this Javelin is much better for the marksman player, right? There's so many callers. There's so many callers. Okay, now we're making more Mustangs. We recognize the Mustangs are checking half of our opponent's comp. Let's get the Vulcan. How much does this Vulcan matter? What is this Vulcan doing? Yep. What does the M do? Wait. Oh, the Vulcan lives now! It leveled! Duh, of course. Wait, okay, this Javelin's not that big of a deal. It might actually be better for bottom now. Okay, the Wasps are going down. The Vulcans are alive. Okay, all the Wasps are down. Marksman. Okay, Marksman versus Stormcaller. Marksman, I got this. Bang, bang. Bang, bang. Bang, bang. What a game. That was a sweet one. What was it? Like, early on, there was the redundancy with the sledges and Vulcan that looked a little scuffed. And then it was back-to-back, both players teching into counters. You had the Wasps, which got answered by the Mustangs, which then teched anti-missile to make the Stormcallers worse. And the whole time, the Stormcallers were the primary answer for the Vulcans for bottom. Where top was just going with the more reliable marksmen. The marksmen were getting checked by the Wasps, which were getting checked by the Mustangs, which were pulling double duty, and then the Stormcallers were keeping the Wasps alive, because the Mustangs waste a bunch of time missile intercepting. Crazy game. Crazy game. And then in the end, marksmen stand alone.